I need to get these Discord messages out. Happy Wednesday. Let's see. Okay, got that out. What else? Did I miss anything? I think I did. But what's up? We got Giant Robots first in the house. Ayo. Extreme Zone 987. We got George. What's up, y'all? Simon Lee says, Ayo, 9800 XTD looks fire. I mean, for me, at the price that it's gonna be at, it's not worth the upgrade. Relative to the 7800 X3D and the price difference that I paid for it versus what these are coming out now. But given that the 7800 X3D has not been available for, or available at, you know, what the going prices were, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, then yeah, it's pretty much the processor to pick up if you want the top gaming processor, and for the bang for buck value of the alternatives, because 7800 X3Ds are going for, we'll do a price check later on once we get into the stream. But yeah, I mean, it is one of the more favorable review major component that we've seen in a while. And when I say major components, I basically mean CPUs and GPUs. I don't really count like SSDs, RAM, power supplies, cases, and stuff as major components with regards to like reviews and coverage. But yeah, but we'll talk about that more as we get into the stream. What's up, PSJC Gamer? How's your guys' days going? Hopefully everyone's having a good day. I know given the climate, the political climate and everything going on in the US specifically, some people probably are having great days and some people are probably having like terrible, horrible days based on the results of the election, which we're not going to go into because, yeah, there's no point in trying to talk politics, especially given that I'm not a political channel, but I just did want to mention that because that will be the elephant in the room. But I think for the most part, everyone in our community probably feels the same way, that like, let's just keep politics out of it, because whatever side you're on, a lot of the times it's hard to have discussions without having arguments or disagreements that go nowhere. So aside from saying, yeah, I mean, we did just have the elections yesterday. Depending on how you voted or whatever, if you did vote, you may or may not be happy with it. But we woke up today, regardless of if the person you voted for won or lost. I mean, the day goes on, the week goes on, the rest of the year goes on, right? Life goes on, and you just work with what you have and move forward. So, take your time. I still have 3 more 9800 X3D videos to watch. Well, so with regards to reviews, I think CPU reviews are probably the hardest to do between that and GPUs. Because with the graphics card, you can keep your test bench the same. You can keep everything in it the same and just swap out graphics cards. When you do a CPU review, you have to change out the motherboard and sometimes even the RAM and all that stuff. So, yeah, if I do a CPU review, it's gonna be like a very small like collection or subset of CPUs. I'm not doing like hardware unbox Gamers Nexus level of like 20 CPUs compared to each other. That is just mind-blowingly crazy, especially if you go across generations where you are dealing, and brands. So then you have like multiple Intel motherboards that you're dealing with, multiple AMD for AM4 versus the AM5 socket. It is crazy. So yeah. 90. I haven't actually looked. We can actually take a look. Actually, no. Give me a second. I need to grab some candy because Halloween just did happen a week ago, and we had some leftover. So give me a second. I might go robotic once I get up the stairs, but Alright. I should be back in range now. So yeah, for those of you who did celebrate Halloween, which was the day after last week's stream, hopefully y'all had a good one. If you took your kids out, if you went yourself, because you still trick-or-treat, I'm pretty sure there are some younger viewers in here. Hopefully you guys stayed safe, stayed warm, all that good stuff. But yeah, so every year we kind of buy extra candy just because we don't want to run out. So then afterwards, I get to eat candy. So there's more stuff, but these are like the major candy bars or candy chocolates, right? So we got Kit Kat, Twix, Reese's, and Snickers. Which one do y'all vote for your favorite? I think of these ones, Kit Kat might be my favorite. I don't know, something about the wafer in it. Yeah, I like all of them. Like, I like Twix, I like Reese's, I like Snickers. But I think Kit Kat is, like, easily, like, my go-to if I had a choice between them. And could only have one. AMD is going to have a hard time selling all those non-3D chips. Or they could slash the prices to move them easier, which is a win for us. Because not everybody needs a X3D level chip, you know? Alright. 7600s, 7600Xs, those are fine value CPUs. So if they don't move, and actually those are cheap enough where it's not even competing with the X3Ds. So yeah, the other Ryzen 7s and potentially even Ryzen 9s, the ones that are higher end in the upper $300, $400 range, if those get price cuts, there just has to be that middle point where it's like, okay, now it's worth it to take the discount to not get the 3D V cache, but you still get a Ryzen 7 or 9 chip at a discount, so yeah. Uh-oh. Dang it, it's not working. Okay, give me 1 second. Is this working now? Do I have to watch the whole thing vertical? Give me 1 second. Are we good or no? Are we good on horizontal? Oh, okay. No, you don't have to watch it on vertical. We're good on horizontal now. So I'll let people who want to watch on horizontal get to the horizontal, and then I will continue talking. Wow, the vertical had way more viewers though because it was only working on vertical. So thank you guys for not just ditching and at least coming over to the vertical. But I'm going to give everyone a second to switch over if they want to get over to the vertical or the landscape versus the vertical stream. Apologies. It was weird. So, can I show this? I think I should be able to show this. There's nothing private on the screen. Is this going to work? If I can get this to work, then I can show it. But if I can't, then okay, let me see. 1 plus. Okay. Okay. So what happened was, so if you see here, here's you guys. Here's the camera. Hello. But so I hit start stream up here because I have 2 tabs. So I have a tab for the vertical stream, and then I have like a tab for the regular stream. But I hit go live on both of them, and this one, it just did that spinning wheel of loading again. So all I had to do was refresh it, and then it instantly worked. So apologies for that. But let's see. Hey, what up? We got Coalition Gaming Chris in the house. The king has arrived. Well, the king of gaming CPUs. If this is the king, what would you call the 7800X3D? Is it now the queen? Is it the prince? Is it the king's second in command? Because, I mean, the 7800X3D is still very, very relevant. So, Now it has been dethroned, but it is not shamed. King incumbent, yeah. Dennis H over from the vertical stream says, "Hey Danny, love your LAN party videos. Thanks for the support. The next one's coming out in December." Jesus Moreno says, 7800X3D is my favorite chip. I got it in my 4090 and it runs more stable than when I had the 14900K. So you were with some high-end hardware there. More stable though. What instabilities did you have on your 14900K? You talking about like more stable frame rates and like with regards to frame times and 1% lows, or are you talking about literally stability crashing wise? But Danny, why do you give out free gaming PCs? It's not like I give out a ton of free gaming PCs, but when I can help other people out, where giving them a PC, you know, really like turns around their days, their weeks, their month, their year, and it's like a big help to them, then I try to do that, which is why a lot of the times I do it locally, because to me, like doing it for someone in person and meeting them and talking to them is better than doing some random giveaway where some person that wins it might not even need it and decides to go sell it and stuff like that. So that's why I prefer doing, like when I do give it away, I'm more methodical and thoughtful about it than just running like some online giveaway. But yeah. The the 7800 XTD is the vice president, exactly. Do you recommend buying instantly tomorrow on release? So let's actually take a look. So we got Chris from his Halloween at work outfit. Sub-Zero, but let's take a look. Someone said, so 9800 X3D is already listed on Newegg. There it is, coming soon. They didn't even list the price? Orders start Thursday, November 7th, which is tomorrow at 6 a.m. I'm very curious if they're gonna sell out. I would think they're gonna sell out just because the demand for 7800 X3D has been so high, and this being better, and newer architecture, all that good stuff. Yeah. The slight incremental increase, even though it's not like a huge increase, it's enough coupled with the fact that 7800 X3D has been kind of out of stock / scalped up. Yeah, I would think that a lot of people are going to buy these. And, you know, Intel's mishaps and all that stuff, so. Intel salty AF today, haha. Are they actually salty? Did you see something posted by them? Or are you just saying they salty because of all the positive raving reviews for the 9800 X3D? How many people here are looking to buy basically as soon as it's released, or within like a month, you know, once they're stocked? Let me start a poll. So there's gonna be 3 options actually. Let me ask this. And there's gonna be a 3rd option because not everybody does need to upgrade. So if that is the case, then it's whatever. But if you vote yes or no, I'm curious to see what that split is. As soon as it releases, says HDZ77. So we do have people who are looking to buy it. Bro, just wanted to ask, is the Ryzen 5 1600 alright for budget? Like what budget? Like $200, potentially $300? I would say yeah, it's fine. But once you start moving into like $400, $500 territory, you start to be able to fit in like the Ryzen 3600 or the 5600. So yeah, Ryzen 5 1600 I would reserve for like $300 or less systems. Any more than that, you can start spending on you know, newer gen CPUs. Still AM4 socket, but yeah. Should I sell my 7800 X3D for $350 and buy the 9800 X3D? So, I mean, it's interesting. They don't put a price on here, but the MSRP is what? Is it 469 or 479? 9800X3D MSRP. 479 reportedly priced. Is that from? Yep, 479. So should you sell it for 350? Let's do the math on this, right? So 480 bucks. So if you do 480 divided by 350, you're looking at 100 or a 37%, and then you minus 1 times 100, right? So minus 1 equals times 100. So you're looking at a 37% like premium you're paying, plus the work that it takes to like remove the CPU and all that stuff, right? So you're paying 37% more money. Actually, no, because if you sell at 350, you're gonna get your 350. But when you buy at 480 plus tax, probably you're pushing to 500, right? So, I mean, it doesn't give you 37% uplift in performance. So I would say no. This is one of those times where it's like you don't need to upgrade every single cycle or generation, right? It's better to wait 2 or 3 cycles for releases before upgrading. I would not. I have a 7800X3D in my test bench. I'm not planning on upgrading that. Also, what graphics card do you even have? Like, do you have a 4090? Are you running at like 720p where you will notice the biggest differences? If the graphics cards that most people are running with the 7800X3D are high-end enough where they are playing at resolutions and settings where you notice like all the reviews from like Hardware Unboxed, Gamers Nexus and stuff, usually they test at like 720 or 1080p. That's because they need to put it into a scenario where you stress the CPU to even get a difference. But once you start cranking up to 1440p, 4K and stuff like that, that difference starts to like dwindle down. So I think Hardware Unboxed reported, so AMD said like 8% uplift, I think. Hardware Unboxed ended up reporting 11%, so they reported a bigger uplift in performance on the 9800X3D than AMD themselves did for gaming. And that was at testing at 1080p. Once you start upping the resolution, that 11% like gain goes down, and once you go to 4K, even more so. So yeah, I would say no, you should not sell your 7800X3D to buy a 9800X3D unless you are quite literally rich and money doesn't mean a thing to you. Because rich people, yeah, I mean, a couple $100 means nothing to them, and they just want the biggest, best thing, even though their eyes might not even be able to perceive the difference in performance. Like, if I turned off the FPS counters, can you see the difference between 200 versus 220 FPS? We got Shauna in the house, says, can't wait. I know what you're saying. Can't wait for the 9800X3D to drop in price. I'm gonna wait to upgrade, maybe even long enough for it to be used. Yeah, dude. If I was sitting on like even a Ryzen 5 7600 right now or something, I would probably be okay with not upgrading. What kind of graphics cards do y'all have where like you have to get this new chip? I understand if you don't have a PC right now, or if you're coming from like a 10-year-old system that you know you used to until it like is dead in the dirt, and then now you're building from scratch and you want to build something that will last you the next like 7 to 10 years, then sure, grab one. But I think most people, let's see, according to the polls so far of people that voted, about half of the people who voted, at least on the landscape stream, don't even need an upgrade at the moment. But of the ones that did voted, who might be looking for an upgrade, a little bit more voted no than actual. But as the chat showed, yeah, it seems like there are some people who want the new chip, but not many need it. I have a 7800X3D and 4090. I am good for 4 more years. No. I would say you could easily coast the next 4 years with that, but by that point, the 4090 will start to become like an upper mid-range or even a mid-range card. Actually, we've been slowing down enough with like generation after generation uplifts that a 4090 would probably be equivalent to today what a, I don't know, a 3070 Ti or something would be. It's gonna be still very viable, but not anywhere near the high end anymore. So I think you could last 4 years, but not if you're someone who has to play the newest titles at 4K, you know, high FPS and all that stuff. So and then we got some people in the chat using a 960M still, a laptop GTX 960. What year is that? Like 2014? I think a 960M is like from the 2014 era, if I'm not mistaken. I am, let's see, Chris says, I'm a 1080p high refresh rate gamer and would greatly benefit from one of these CPUs, but I'd rather wait longer. I mean, but Chris, what FPS do you distinguish the difference, or being even able to notice it between? You could get like 200-300 FPS on other CPUs at 1080p that are not the 9800 X3D. What's up, Demon Man? What 3090 is 4 years ago. Wow. Yeah, it's been that long. So 30, yeah, if you use the last 2 generations, would it be like the 4070 Ti-ish right now? Which 4070 Ti, I mean, do people consider that a high? I would consider that an upper mid-range card. So, but that's only if we think that the same performance gap or jump happens from this to the next generation. And that I'm not too sure about. I think it depends on just what your expectations are. I would say most people, a 4090 will easily carry you the next 4 years. But there are some people that are higher maintenance that need the best of the best at all time, and will even upgrade year after year, you know, between, or generation after generation, between like a 3090 to a 4090. So then people will complain about Monster Hunter Wilds beta with the 960M. Yeah. Sometimes I just want new hardware to play with, which is nothing wrong with that. If, you know, that's within your means and you can afford it, then that's fine. Detonation Pyrotechnics says, building a $600 budget PC strictly for gaming around Thanksgiving. Don't care about anything beyond 1080p. Any suggestions? $600. So that'd be hard to fit AM5 in there. I think you could, with AliExpress, you could easily fit $600. It depends how good you're at deal hunting. You could very safely build a Ryzen like 5600 RX 6600 for $600 or less. If you can get really good on deals, you might be able to squeeze in a 7500F instead, but it just depends. And then you would have to get good deals on the rest of everything else too. I mean, it's doable, but or if you want the equivalent like 3060 Ti. Okay, where was the... I wanted to pull up the charts. Give me 1 second. Is it the tech power up? Okay, they have the review. I just want to see the charts. Okay. So we'll look at some tech power up numbers, and so they do have it with like PVO and faster RAM and things like that, but compared to, okay, let's see what they got. They got about, I hate it when it's done like this, because going from 92 to 100% doesn't necessarily mean 8% because you have to go backwards. You have to do like the inverse, but it's close enough to call it 8%. So they got pretty close results to what seems like what AMD reported for gaming, and this is at 720p. But if you look, either way, AMD is at the top with whether it be last gen 7800 XUD or 9800 XUD. The 14900K comes in about. Okay, I need to pull out a calculator for this because let's see, 100 divided by 87.8. Yeah, so they come about 14% slower. So it is pretty close to it, even if you just straight up subtract the two numbers, but. Would the Tray 5700 X3D from AliExpress be a good choice? I'm on a 5600X. Yeah, if your CPU is bottlenecking your graphics card right now, I mean, it's either that or the 5800 X3D, which those are starting to get harder to find. So the 5700 X3D has been people's alternative. But it all depends on what's in the rest of your system and what the performance is giving you right now. I don't think I see you mentioning what you have, but you're pretty much going to the end of the socket for what's available right now, AM4, so, Demon says, I switched from a 5950X to a 7800 X3D a few months ago. Very noticeable difference in games I played. The only reason someone should be interested in 9800 X3D is if they care about manual overclocking. How much did you a few months ago, did you pay the higher prices? What price did you get for the 7800 X3D? Because, I mean, you're saying it's very noticeable, and if they're both around the same price, let me take a look actually. So if we look at 7800 X3D, you can get those. Yeah, Amazon's got them for $476. 508 actually. Wait, where's the other options? But so yeah, when you're given an, if you want the newest Vcache chip, the 3D Vcache chip, and this is your option, $508. What's Newegg got it for? Oh my goodness, $569. Yeah. Unless you can get it secondhand market, which I don't know how many people are looking to get rid of their 7800 X3Ds in the secondhand market. There's more than the other reason to get it other than overclocking is because it's the only other available option really available. You got a while ago for a customer build that charged back before I shipped, kept it for yourself. That's kind of a victory. Zoro says would prefer a 7800 X3D if it gets cheaper from Micro Center, but they're just not for sale. Gonna try to go with the 9800 X3D tomorrow. Okay, so we got some people going. Are you gonna go pick it up tomorrow, Zoro? I'm curious. What are people going to be willing to pay for the 7800 X3D in the used market once these are available? Like, what is the... So you're looking at like 10% in gaming performance difference, depending on what reviewers you're looking at, right? Some report a little bit lower, some report a little bit higher. Let's just say 10%. That's a nice round number that actually fits in with kind of the average of what people have been reporting. So 480 bucks, 10% of that is 48 bucks. So you have to be looking at around a $430 7800 X3D for it to scale like performance per dollar. But it's also going to be used if you buy, you know, in the secondhand market. So you got to take a cut for that. So, like, what would you guys be comfortable paying for a 7800 X3D if you were looking for one? I was lucky enough to get it for $370 last year. Not last year, earlier this year before prices on them went crazy. I would think like secondhand market, it would have to be like 400 or less. But I just sold a 5800 XTD on eBay for $340. Is that what they're going for? Micro Center got 7800 X3D with for $599 with motherboard and RAM. Yeah, but the thing is, not everybody has Micro Center, which kind of sucks. But let's look at 5800 X3D. I'm gonna end the polls now. I think enough people have voted. It's just taking up more space on the screen. But all right, let's look at sold listings, sold items. Ended recently, so we're looking at right now. What is? I mean, I guess everyone's got to start somewhere. I don't know if I would buy a processor from a zero account, but it's eBay. They'll get your money back. So from China for 370, 355, 324, 370, 374. These are all sold within the last 2 days. So November 6th, November 5th. Here's one for 320. Wow. This one sold for what? 550 almost. Is a 5700 X3D RTX 3090 a good combo? I would say so. If you look like 5700 X3D is some crazy good value. You're getting it from AliExpress, right? It's crazy good value when you get it from AliExpress. When you get it from somewhere else, it's still decent value, but why not just save the money and go with AliExpress? Dang, X3D chips are very desirable. Indeed, they are. If someone has a 5800 X3D they want to get rid of for free, I'll take your sloppy seconds. Yeah, the fact that they're going for over $300 in the last week. And what was the release date on this? 5800 X3D release date. These came out 2.5 years ago. MSRP of $449, but they did drop in price. Let's look at the vetted. So let's look at 5700 XCD. Okay, yeah, you can't even find actual like buy used for 402. Only one left in stock, and it's a used one. You can't even buy them brand new. Is this gonna have the good pricing for it? 1 year pricing. So I mean, new. Look at this. Brand new within the last year, all the way up until, let's see, around the middle of this year, you could get them pretty close to $300 according to this graph. And now the used market, they're selling for $50 over what you could get them for new 6 months ago. People really want AMD 3D VCache chips, don't they? I have both. I don't use any of them in my personal system. I have them for like test system, but yeah. And remember, this is used too. But this is, excuse me, Amazon. Let's look at Newegg. It's probably gonna be the same story there too. Like used like new for $430. Jeez, my goodness. That is nuts considering this 5700 X3D is going for around 200 new. Makes me want to say 5800 X3D, if they were being sold right now, should be around 240 to 250. Well, let's go to AliExpress. Because if both of those were over there, you can imagine how low the price could have been. Come on. AliExpress does have a sale going on right now with some, do they have the coupon codes? Yeah, they have coupon codes right now. So if you're trying to get a processor, like, easy $15 off on something over 120, which these chips will be. So, it's just like, if you're trying to build anytime soon, yeah. So, 200 brand new on Amazon, or get a 25% off discount and get them for around 150-ish on AliExpress. But, you know, these are tray processors, don't come with coolers, don't come with warranties, etc., etc. But you gotta say, you know, how much is $50 worth to you? Do you need your warranty? At least Nob gets another like. What, your chat bug is happening with YouTube? Is it? I don't. Wait, is this Kale 130? Temp Kale. It must be Kale. On your main account, the YouTube chat bugs mess it up. Sorry about that. Yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do on my end about that because I have not banned or shadow banned or ghosted anyone's comments. So, yeah, good to see you though, Kale. Thanks for still joining on the stream, even though chat's being dumb right now. Even Micro Center's Amazon store wants $670 for a 7800 X3D with MSI B650 mobile. Yeah, that's kind of the Micro Center Amazon store is not like crazy good deals. It is not too far off of like standard Amazon pricing to begin with. Yeah, I don't know, man. Micro Center, like, y'all are like the bastion of PC hardware and you're not available everywhere. Like, if you could just somehow get shipping to work, like, just have normal shipping rates for whatever size boxes that CPUs, motherboards, you know, graphics cards, RAM, SSDs fit in, you could still provide great value to people. But yeah, I haven't heard what their explanation is for not shipping. It's just because they don't need to and it's too much of a hassle. Yeah, so let's see. Going back to this chart. So let's look at the average FPS. Yeah, let's look at where's the 4K results? Because it was 4K. Here we go. So 4K with the I should keep both tabs up. But actually, no. We saw the numbers already. Look at the numbers. It was 10% and about 15% for 7800 X3D and 1400K. This is the average performance at 4K between the 9800 X3D, 7800 X3D, and the 14900K. The 14900K, which at 720p was coming in at 15% slower, is now within 1.1%. Let's just say 1% rounding. Even pretty, I mean, the overclock results 100 points. Yeah, that's like 1%. So within like 2-ish percent. 7800 X3D is within less than 1%. So aren't most people who are buying these brand new top tier gaming chips using graphics cards close to the 4090 or like the upper end, that you're going to be landing closer to this with the performance differences than the 720p results, which gives you the wider gaps. Let's look at 1440p though, because probably more people are playing this because it's a better balance of like visual quality and FPS. So here, the 7800 X3D is still within, if we're looking stock to stock, 3%, and the 14900K, which was 15% slower at, you know, the worst case scenario for it, is now within like 5%. Of course, this is only one news outlet. They just happen to have a very nice, concise chart that we can look at, as opposed to me having to skip through videos from Hardware Unboxed or Gamers Nexus. And Gamers Nexus doesn't even round up and do an average, so you have to like tally the numbers yourselves in a spreadsheet. I trust Tech Power Up. But yeah, so for the people who are gaming at 1440p and 4K, which I would say would be the overwhelming majority of people who are buying i9s or X3D chips, this is the gaming performance difference. The 14900K still leads in a lot of productivity tasks, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not siding with one company or the other or saying one is particularly good or bad value. This is the numbers in front of you. So I would say I would still lean AMD because I think that they're going to take AM5, the socket, and run with it for a while. So I think the likelihood of it being a longer supported platform that you can buy chips, you know, from newer generations to upgrade on for years to come, the likelihood is still higher than Intel. But yeah, this also, let's see, where's the 285? Okay, it's 93%. So the 285 still comes a couple percent slower than the 14900K, which yeah, they knew that was gonna happen. So The 1% lows are really good. Let me see if they average. Yep, so average. Did they put that here? See, I'm very curious. One of the bigger channels like LTT or Gamers Nexus or something like that, I want them to do a test at what, because I think there have been tests done at what are the perceived differences that you can notice between like average FPS. I think the difference between 1% and 0.1% lows might be even larger than that, so long as it's at a number that is high enough, right? Obviously, if you have single digit 1% lows and stuff like that, it's a stutter fest. But when you talk about the difference between average FPS, like 200 and 220 not being perceivable, I would say the difference between like 170 to 190 and 1% lows is even less perceivable. Like, if you can somehow set up a simulation that will always give you those same averages and 1% lows every single time, and you sat people down at a computer and said, all right, which one has the 171% and which one has the 191%, without you looking at the graphs and the metrics, tell me the difference. More people will fail that test than the average test. And again, I'm not saying that, yeah, if your 1% lows fall down to like 30 FPS when you're running 200 average or something, that will be very noticeable. But when you're talking about reasonable performance, it becomes even a smaller metric that makes a difference, if that makes sense. Craft Computing did a video close to this today. Did he? Let me see. Craft Computing. Oh, so he did a review, which, okay. Craft. Let me mute this, and I will watch this video later. I will give him the view now, even though I'm not logged in. I think views still count when you're not logged in, right? But, let me see. Let me just take a look at his video and see what he's doing here. Okay. So 1% lows. So he compared. See, so Craft, he had to do it very similar to how smaller channels kind of have to do it. Like, a lot of the smaller channels don't have the manpower or just the hardware to run 20 different chips. So he compared just 2 chips. Interesting choice to choose a 9700X. But then again, this is kind of a good thing. Like, people might be saying, why did he even use the 9700X? Everybody else is comparing it to 7800X 3D or 1490K. And that's the exact reason why he should do this, because there are less results to help make people make this comparison. Do you really need like a 6th or 7th person to be reviewing the 7800X 3D versus the 9800X 3D? You don't. Having more variety like this is actually helpful. So, okay. So yeah, so for an example... Oh, what the heck? Okay, this is a bad example because the 9800X 3D comes in worse. David, stop spamming the chat, please. We see you, or I see you eventually. So you get a timeout because, yeah, you're spamming the chat and just moving the chat out. So you get a timeout. So, did you just tell someone to shut up as well? Actually, David, you're going to get an even longer timeout. You get a 24-hour timeout, so you can't even talk today. Okay. So, yeah, that's what you get for being immature. Anyways, okay, so this isn't a good result. So, what? Okay. Jeff, you got to activate Windows watermark, which is fine because I think maybe because when he swapped the hardware in, it unactivated his Windows, but whatever. Let's see. 49 required, so he got oh, but this is with the 9700X. Okay, so it would be interesting to watch his results compared to like tech. Oh, wait. What resolution is this? 1440p. No 4090 required. So I must be like at 720p or something. Interesting results. 3.2%. Let me go back to the tech power up. We're going to listen to what he has to say because I don't want to take it out of context.
That's only looking at the average frame rates. If you look at the 1% and 0.1% lows, there is a 7% slower out would be identical and 117 frames per second respectively. Putting all of my gaming benchmarks together, if the general consensus of you can only benchmark a CPU by eliminating bottlenecks were true, all of my results would be identical, right? Instead, we see on average the 9800X3D is faster than the 9700X by around 3.2%. Now, counterpoint.
Getting rid of the bottleneck, that would be like running it at 720p though.
I consider all results within 5% of each other to be identical in terms of end user perception. So yes, on average, there's no difference between the 9700X and the 9800X3D. Checkmate, Jeff. But that's only looking at the average frame rates. If you look at the 1% and 0.1% low,
between the 9700X and 9800X3D average frame rate, yeah, this is a lot lower than pretty much any other outlet I've seen. Okay, I'm gonna have to give this video a full watch. Oh my goodness. And of course, now we got people coming in acting like they've never been to class before. Okay, give me 1 second. Where is this at? Okay. If we can run the 11800X3D and AM5, I'll be happy. Yeah, if that many generations come afterwards. They gotta do something about these CPU namings. So, yeah, I think once you get past the 4 digits, it kind of does not feel good. Like, if AMD gets into the next generation and they call it a 10 or 1100 series chip, like Intel just did the reset, right? Intel had the great reset and now they're back to 200 series ultra CPUs. So we'll see what AMD ends up doing. Most tech tubers were also getting crazy high 1% and 0.1% lows at 1080p versus the 7800X3D. Okay, let's look at let's see. We can do it from here. Let's look at their results. Average cost per frame. Okay, 14 game average. So, is at 1080p. Because Hardware Unboxed does not test lower than that. They did not test 720p on this one. So if we look at the difference between the two, so 205 versus 184, that's about 11%. And then what's 136 over, or 149 over 136? 149 divided by 136. They're getting about 9.5%, so close to 10% if you round. So, I mean, between these two chips, they scaled about the same. About 10% uplift in both 1% and averages, so. Just remove the double zeros. So what would that be? 1070? Oh gosh! Can you imagine the 1070X? You're gonna confuse. Yeah, imagine the Ryzen 7 1070X. If you remove. Oh no, you said remove 20. Wait. Then it would be. No, it would be that 107X. That would be even weirder. 1170. It would be removing 10, not 2 zeros. Yeah. You wouldn't happen to have an AMD FX 8350 laying around, would you? I do have one, but not for sale or not to give away, unfortunately. That is a chip where I think I will be revisiting often enough that I would like to keep it on hand, especially because they are getting to the point where it's harder to find them without people like asking ridiculous prices. Like it took me I was looking for the 8350 to make a video when I made my most recent video on the 8350, and it took a while to find one in good working condition that I could buy at a reasonable price. Because honestly, the 8350 compared to like, you know, you can get a Ryzen 1600 or even 1400 chip, which beats it easily for so cheap, like, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks. Why are people still selling 8350s for like 40 or 50 bucks? Like, they've gotten to the point where they are worth more than their actual performance. So, yeah, I have one, but not to get rid of. Why not try hardware swap for older chips? The thing is, I have tried it. I have made posts on hardware swap, and people were still asking for too much, and there's not that many people just selling in general. Like, when you post on there or you look for it, like, look for 8350s on hardware swap search. The postings are very, like, far and few in between. Not that different from what I'm trying to think of. So Intel's like naming scheme now 285. They didn't just simply chop off zeros and stuff. They went and like the naming isn't even similar anymore, because now there's like a 20, like we were used to seeing like something 7 something, something 7 something. Now the 8 is kind of the leading number. The 8s and 6s, they changed from odd to even numbers. No, and yeah, I think Intel, they completely just changed it to something where I don't think you would have been able to predict it. What AMD ends up doing, we'll have to see. But we've got about a year or so until that happens. So, yeah, to confuse people, it'll take probably a couple of generations for people to get really used to it. Because, like, right now, even when I think of the Intel chips, I still have to, like, take a split second to think, oh, yeah, where... Like, if you didn't say i7 or i5 or whatever, and you... Or Ultra 7s and Ultra 5s and Ultra 9s, and you just gave me the number, it takes me a split second to be like, oh, wait, where does that fall in the hierarchy of performance again? Oh, yeah. I've not even gotten completely used to it yet, so... Hey, what's up, KL130? I do see your comment over here on the vertical stream. Let's go back to iPhone 1 and start over. Says Robert, fix it. Yeah, I mean, we should have a guessing game as for next year, or for whenever they launch the next generation, what the naming scheme is gonna be, and see who can guess it. AMD will how would they copy this? So last time they copied it was because Intel was at the point where they were at like, what, 6700s and stuff like that, right? So AMD went and said, okay, we're gonna start our Ryzen 7s at the 1700. So at least the starting number was like 5 digits off. This time around, with Intel starting so low already with the 285, it'd be very curious how AMD could copy them. Or they could troll them and just use the exact same thing and call it like a 175, 155, and 135s for the Ryzen 7s, 5s, and 3s. Chicken says OCPC was actually wrong about some benchmarks. No overclock 1490K. No overclock 1490K can beat. Wait, okay, I'm trying to read this in the way that it's written. OCPC was actually wrong about some benchmarks. No overclocked 14900K can beat the 9800 X3D. The 5800 X3D didn't beat any. Okay, so who are you talking to? I don't think it's anything I said because I didn't claim any of these things, but the 5800 X3D didn't beat any 7800 X3D in most games from what I've seen. He just over hates AMD. Okay, yeah, I think that's a side conversation. Will an A10 7850K? Oh, jeez. Will it run GTA 5M? I don't have much experience with 5M. Hey Danny, is an i3 1200F for $50 a good deal? This is new on Marketplace. Let's see, $50. I would say so. I think I would see how much you can get a motherboard for, because that also is part of the equation for building. Because if you can't find motherboards for a decent price, then that's still $30 cheaper than the 5600, I guess. So I for $50, if I could get like an equivalent motherboard for also like $40 or $50, I would pick up a 1200F for $50. I don't know. I have not kept up with the 12100F pricing at all. At one point, weren't they like $100? Let's see if 12100F is any better. 12100F is $80. So getting it brand new on Marketplace for $30 off. And even the used ones aren't that much cheaper. These have all, so the good thing is that now they're new around $80, but they have been new or used or renewed on Amazon for around $80 for a long time. But now, you know, you can get it for new for that price. So $50 I would say is a decent amount, and you can build a pretty good gaming PC for a $50 CPU that is as modern as the 12100F. You want to build a HTPC? Oh yeah, that should be plenty. Jason Whitmer, what up Jason, says, is 9800 X3D powerful enough to overcome not having quick sync from a 12700K? I mean, what graphics cards do you think most people will pair with this? Like for my streaming and for my video editing, I don't use QuickSync. I use whatever hardware encoders on the graphics card I use. So I've used Intel Arcs, as well as what's it called? AMD's, whatever the heck you can call it, and then NVIDIA's NVENC as well. I don't know, I feel like a lot of people would give up QuickSync for a 9800 X3D. I mean, I have a 12700K, I'm not going to upgrade to a 9800 X3D, but I think there's a lot of people out there who actually just game. They don't do content creation or streaming or anything like that where they could actually use QuickSync. Wow, people are still building HTPCs. I like. I feel like as much as, so these mini PCs, if I was going to have an HTPC, I would honestly probably use nowadays either a laptop or one of these things. I don't think I want like, because what are you going to do, build an ITX system for HTPC, but then you're paying the ITX tax and potentially what's it called, SFX power supply tax, all that stuff. So yeah, for HTPC, whether you're going to be streaming gameplay through whatever program you want to use from another PC that you already have, or just, you know, browsing and streaming content, yeah, I would totally be okay with like one of these cheap HTPCs, like sub $300 probably. I don't know if I would build an HTPC system like in this day and age when this is so cheap, or just get like a used laptop. But that's me saying that as someone who already has more like hardware and towers than I know what to do with. Demon Mint finally figured out that he was in the wrong stream and why I was vertical and why chat was way more dead on that side probably, right, Demon Mint? But yeah. Azeroth A300 is dope AF. Okay, so one of these bare bones kits. I have one of these. Let me see. Is it down here? Yes, it's right here. I think it's the A300, or it might have been the iteration after it. Let me see. And this thing is pretty awesome. I put an APU in it. Yeah, because it could still, you could still use like, you know, for this one, AM4. Did they make an AM5 version? But yeah, so I have one of these, and yeah, I've used that as an HTPC before, and I mean, you still have, you know, a decent amount of I/O, and look how tiny this thing is. Like, what can I use as a comparison? A phone? My phone, maybe? Yeah, it's like not too much bigger than a phone, and then this dimension-wise is like half a phone. So yeah. I do like these as well because there is I feel like for this one, because it was AM4, upgrade path for this. Ooh, actually, can you, I don't know if they had BIOS updates that supported up to like a 5600G. They might have ended support at like the 3000 series, but yeah, either way, like these tinier systems I would much rather prefer than building a tower. It can do a 5700G. Okay, I need to look into I need to update the BIOS just to make sure I'm good for if I do upgrade the CPU and I don't do it and then get locked out. It looks like a router. Yeah. It's the size of a big power supply. Honestly, I think this thing might be smaller. Do I have a power supply on hand? I don't think I do. But oh wait. Oh, I do. Kind of. Dang, you can't see it. It's the power supply from the Temu build video. It is, I would say, like 5% bigger. So it is basically the size of a standard ATX power supply, yes. And it's a whole build in it. You could move the internals into a power supply and make a power supply gaming PC. I think that was one of my video ideas very long ago. Building a PC in a power supply enclosure. But I never did it. Maybe I should do it now that I'm bringing it up. Pulls out the smoking... That's not a gigabyte unit. That is a Chinese special ATX 300 watt unbranded unit that somehow was able to run at 280 watts from the wall 24 hours straight with no issues without burning my house down while running a dedicated graphics card. That's what that unit was. Do I think... Thanks for the super chat, XPodX. So when you're saying 144 hertz, First of all, I don't know if the 5090 would be able to run games at 8K at 144 FPS average to begin with, but the i9 9900K, that was the last generation of Intel that I thought was not worth it. It was the 10th and generation and beyond when they increased the core thread counts, where I recommended Intel a lot more. I would have to look into this, but if I had to guess, you want to talk about when the 5090, whenever that comes out, when that's relevant, 8K 144 hertz, I would have to guess no. I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna be running 144 FPS on modern games. Graphics card aside. I mean, I think, when did the 9900K come out? So you're talking about a pretty high-end processor that came out, release date. They came out in 2018. You're talking about a 6-year-old processor. Even though it's an i9 and was at like the top of its class at the time, 6 years does a number with regards to a CPU's relevancy. So yeah, I think, I mean, I've never used an i9 9900K, so it's hard for me to say. And the 5090 doesn't even exist right now. Plus, we don't know how games are going to be optimized in the future. And you're asking about 8K, which I don't even know if that's gonna. Are you talking about like 8K League of Legends or something like that? Like, you're not playing, you know, Black Myth Wukong, whatever new AAA titles at 8K anywhere near 144 FPS with the 5090. I guess, yeah, I guess you could use like some upscaling and frame gen and stuff. You might be able to get there, but I think the 9900K is gonna struggle. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about it is 6 years old. It is a little bit over 6 years old by this point. October 2018 is when it was released, and yeah, it's been a while. If you're older games, you still run into limitations, especially since like a lot. Oh, you're talking about older games. The i9 is gonna go. It's gonna come down to single core performance. So I would have to take a look at how that compares to modern benchmarks, and then I gotta look at the modern benchmarks compared to the settings you're asking for, like you know, 8K with the. Let's just assume graphics card isn't an issue because you're playing old enough games. Can the i9 pump out that many frames? I'm struggling to see how it can, but yeah, I don't have enough information out on the internet that I could put that information together for you. But if I had to guess, if you're getting a 5090, I think it's about time to upgrade your platform and CPU. I feel like most people might feel like their priorities are a little mixed there. The amount that a 5090 is going to cost, and to still keep a 9th gen Intel chip, versus just spending a little bit less on the graphics card and getting like a 5080 or whatever, 5080 Super or TI, whenever those come out, and then upgrading your motherboard and CPU and RAM to like the modern platform. I feel like most people would do that than to get this overly powerful graphics card that is gonna be probably pretty expensive, right? If the $1,600 4090 was anything to go by, this one, if it comes out and it's even more expensive, yeah, using like an i9 9900K on eBay, how much does that cost? I guess they're still expensive because they're, you know, they're i9s, just because of that. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, in gaming, you can spend $200. You can spend less than $200, get a 5700X 3D, and pump out better numbers than this could. But either way, like, you're trying to pair a $1,600 to $2,000 graphics card with a processor that's like $200 used now. I just don't think that's a good pairing, but you could prove me wrong if you are playing old enough games where the i9 can still rip through them. COD Garage says, what are you even talking about? No self-promotion? Who says no self-promotion? Oh, I did? Y'all so scared someone will go and watch another channel instead of yours. The no self-promotion thing, if one of my buddies came in here, like, and promoted their channels, it's whatever. But, like, random people with tiny channels just self-promoting just because of that and not being here for the streaming content, that's why that message is there for. And if you can't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, you've already been set in your mind thinking that I'm so fragile and have an ego that I just pulled up another YouTuber's channel to watch earlier. So, yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that, though. Your name is COD Garage, and that's what you got out of, like, the rules. Are you like 12 or something? What is Jason saying? Club Penguin with frame gen? Yeah, right. If they even ever implemented that. Thanks for the kind words, Acify. Self-promoting is a selfish, rude move, no debate. Yeah, see, the thing is, like, actual content creators that are mindful and stuff, they would never self-promote. Even though I would openly, like, let people self-promote. Like, if, you know, there's other PC content creators that have actually talked to me and we've developed some kind of, like, you know, friendship over what we do. Yeah, if Ozzy, Toasty Bros, Scatterbolt came in here self-promoted, I would be 100% fine with it. They would never do that because obviously it's rude. But yeah, to make a big deal out of that, yeah, I don't know what you're thinking. Let's just agree, yes, the 9900K will hold the 5090 back due to the socket and mobile not supporting. I'm actually honestly curious about what PCIe Gen 5, like what limitations and how much of a bottleneck that might be, pairing it with older hardware for when the 5090 comes out. Let me see 4090, because this is actually an interesting point. Aside from like the architecture, platform, and all that being old. Let's see, 4090. Let's see, PCIe 4, PCIe 3 test. Do we have, there's gotta be videos. Please, someone out there. 4090 on PCIe 3 versus, oh, here we go. Yeah, 4090, so Gamers Nexus made this. At one point in time, I was aware and watched this. They don't have an average, do they? Total Warhammer. Oh, look. Even a 4090 at Gen 3 is barely different than at Gen 4. Wait, did they not do... Oh, they said 5 in quotes. But going down to Gen 3 is pretty telling. But did anyone do an updated test for Gen 5? Yeah, here's one. This is from the Spy Hood, though. The person who I believe to fake benchmarks. Because all we're going to get is just some random text on the screen. Yeah. That'd be an interesting test to do. NVIDIA, you should send me a 5090 so I could do this testing for you. Okay, what do we have? Oh, did Acify list their system? Or did I miss something? Oh, Acepai says, I have an RTX 3070 paired with the Ryzen 5800X. Thoughts? I think that's a very solid system. That would be pretty similar to something that I'm running. Like a 3070-ish level card, that or 6700 XT-ish card, and then like a 12th gen i7. Yeah, so, I mean, I think that would make a lot of people happy. Like, if you said, here is a PC with the 5800X and the RTX 3070 into it, and offered it to all the gamers in the world to take for free if they wanted, as long as it's a reasonable upgrade for them, a lot of people would take you up on that offer, because people are using much older and much worse hardware out there. Yeah. Don't get caught in this bubble thinking that everyone has like the latest and greatest gen parts. So many people out there in my comment section all the time still talk about how they're on like, still using like GTX 1070s and RX 580s and stuff like that. So yeah, I think with a 3070 5800X, very solid. Are you gonna upgrade, Jason? If it is on sale, 280 for a 14700K. Wait, what are you using right now? I forget. All right, we are an hour, and we're gonna end exactly at 2 hours today, just because I'm hungry. So I'm hungry, and Melissa's hungry, but we still got a good 40 minutes left in stream. To the person who asked about the pre-builts earlier, I was actually very curious. Someone asked about a $950 pre-built. If you still have that question and you're still in stream, I would love to take a look at it and see. Also, while we wait, Chris posted some, is this called pigs in a blanket? Or is that only when you use those smoky sausages? Ran out of jalapenos all, need more womp. This is what Chris is cooking, making for dinner. Do you stick this? This looks like a pan that doesn't have a plastic handle. It might be a metal pan. Do you stick this in the oven or do you grill it? Because grilling it, I feel like only the bacon would kind of get cooked and the hot dog in the middle, not really. As opposed to if you baked it at an even temperature, you might get a more even cook. But where's the after pictures, Chris? Once they're done, post them. But is this another take on pigs in a blanket with hot dogs instead of smokies? You're okay, yeah, I thought you're on the 1270K, so we're both on the same CPU. Do you feel like your CPU is holding you back? I guess are you gonna like sell your 1270K in a system and price it about at the same value so that you can make your money back and basically get a free upgrade? Yeah, I feel like I should be good for on my CPU easily for another year, but unless you know something happens where I could upgrade it for pretty cheap, like if there's a good sale, get a good used deal, or like do some sponsored content with the company and like end up with a better processor, I'm good on sitting with the 1270K for now. But then again, yeah, all my stuff that I edit is like 30 FPS, 1080p and stuff, so. What up, AHP? Sup from Texas, sup from Washington. Oh, pigs in a blanket is a sausage inside the pastry. I think you're right. Yeah, it is. Whoops. This is just bacon wrapped hot dogs, isn't it? Yeah. Yep. Okay. It's in the pastry, not the bacon. Because this would be pigs wrapped in pig skin. Big Country says, any suggestions to what? Let me see. Big Country. Going to be building a Ryzen 7 7700X build soon. And was looking at the RX 7600 XT, but hearing bad things. What's a good card in the same price range with 16 gigabytes of VRAM? Ooh. How much is it? What's the 7600 XT going for nowadays? It's still like 300, especially the, let's see. What are they going for? Like 400 bucks? I mean, at that point, do you just get the 7800 XTD for like 50 bucks more? So, that's not all their prices, is it? 7600 XT. Okay, yeah, so never mind. There are cheaper versions. Around the same price range, would you consider the 7800 X3D? Or not X3, 7800 XT. For, what's the cheapest one we can find? Which also has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, but will be way better in performance for... I know it's not the same price range, but... 470 versus 314-ish. Yeah, so it's like 160 bucks more. But between the two... I don't know. 7600 XT with like... AM5 Ryzen 7 chip does not make sense to me. It just seems like I don't talk about bad pairings often, and I'm not saying it's like the worst pairing in the world if you need the Ryzen 7 chip, but could you get the Ryzen 5 chip, save some money, and which would still pair very well with the 7800 XT? You see what I'm saying here? Like, if you give me the option between 7700X with the 7600 XT versus a 7500F with the 7800 XT, and they come within 50 bucks of each other, even if the 7800 XT combo costs a little bit more, I would choose the Ryzen 5 with the 7800 XT. But that's just me. I don't know if you need the Ryzen 7, but yeah, 7600 XT... The 16 gigabyte, like, what are you using it for? Why do you need the VRAM? Okay, so it's the Micro Center. That's the Micro Center bundle. So what's the bundle come out to be? What's the cost? Let's take a look at this. AliExpress, and man, if you, so we're talking about 470 plus. This brings it to like 600 something. 7500F, it's $600. The combo is $600 for... I know there's no motherboard, there's no combo, but the price on this is so good. And the Ryzen 7500F pairs really well with the 7800 XT. So getting this paired with this comes in at $600 for CPU and GPU combo. What's the Micro Center deal come with? What does that cost? Yeah, so this is a good point. Or 7500F still. So I would not pair such a powerful CPU. I feel like you're paying more, not getting the performance on the gaming side of things. But if you need the Ryzen 7, then yeah, go for it. The 116 is sold out? Is it actually? I see it saying buy now. Let me log in and check on my actual account and see if I can get it to show that I can put it in my cart. Sign in. Plus, if you get a more expensive one, just use the coupon that's going on right now. If you get one for $120, you can use the $15 off coupon, which brings it down to 105. Let me see. Let me log in. You checked this morning and they were nice. I mean, either way, if you had to spend a little bit more on the more expensive listings, like 123, There's the coupon on the front page right now. Right here. $15 off 120. So you meet the threshold to get it down. But let's see, big country. So Ryzen 7 7700X, 32 gigabytes G-Skill Flare, gigabyte 6. Okay. So 100. Okay. That is. I mean, assuming we value the motherboard at like $100. I don't know if there's many B650s. Let's see how much that one's going for. Gigabyte Gaming AX B650. Yeah, so this isn't just like some bottom tier, like super low end. So let's say you value that 150, $400 for that. I could see why the 7700X is very attractive. I would say it's attractive at this price because 32 gigs of DDR5. I don't know what the speed of it is, but I mean, even if you look at the cheapest kits, you're still looking at like $80. So you're getting like $200 to $250 in value alone in the RAM, which then makes the 7700X anywhere from like $150 to $200. Plus, you can just pick it up in person, not deal with AliExpress. Can you get a better graphics card? Like, or is that just out of the budget? Can you get the 7800 XT? Or, what's the 7700 XT going for? You can get a 7700 XT for, so we're looking at a $70-ish difference. $390 versus $460 about. Yeah, these are all like under $400. Remember, when they first came out, it was $450 and $500, but now they both shifted. But you want a 16 gigs. If you want the 16 gigs of VRAM, then you go for the 7800 XT. Plus, I want to do more than just gaming. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm just saying, you might be a little disappointed in the 7600 XT performance in gaming. Especially with how much you're going to be spending on the system. You're talking AM5, Ryzen 7, modern parts, brand new. This is probably going to be like a $1,000+ system, right? Having the 7600 XT in there, I think will give you underwhelming performance for $1,000+ PC is what I'm saying. So I think to be a bit of a better pairing. And because you just mentioned you want to do more than just gaming, so you do think there's value in the Ryzen 7 over the Ryzen 5, I think pairing a better graphics card would be the move I would recommend. But if it's not in the cards and you can't afford it, then maybe look for a used graphics card. There was a combo that came with the 7600X budget B650 and a free 1TB SSD. That's pretty good because the 1TB's worth about 50. Let's say a budget board's still worth around like 90. Yeah, that easily comes in at 7600X. What I see, 90 plus 50, 140. That's 130. Yeah, you're getting 7600X for basically around 7500F prices. See, the RX 6800, those are right now going for, yeah, so $350. Is that the lowest price one? And what's the used market for these look like though? Are you okay with used parts? Because I didn't even see what you said about the budget. Should I do a used 40 series? If you have no problem with buying used, like what's your budget though? I guess we don't even know what that is. What is your budget for your graphics card? What is the amount that you cannot go over? I guess we should determine that before we even recommend other cards, because you might not have enough money to spend. I hope AMD is developing new APUs. I'm curious what you think. I saw some kind of leaks about the new APUs. It's not any new news. But I don't remember. They said it was supposed to be the same performance of a certain graphics card. I don't remember what that is. But I think whatever the next gen APUs come out, as long as they don't completely drop the ball and just have like crap performance, I think I'm gonna be really excited for them, especially if they can make some of them in the Ryzen 3 and Ryzen 5 variants. I don't see much of a use for APUs for Ryzen 7. I'm sure there's some niche use cases, but given the price, like, the people who are buying APUs don't have much money to spend to begin with. That's why they can't afford a graphics card. So why would they buy a Ryzen 7 unless they're really thinking about the future where whenever they get money, you know? It makes more sense to me to focus on APUs in the Ryzen 5 and 3 tiers, but we'll have to wait and see. It was something like the Strix Halo, and it... Okay, I don't remember hearing 4070 performance. That seems unrealistic. Next year, third quarter of the year, so, I mean, that's like still a whole year away. New APU? Yeah, we'll see. Even a laptop 4070, that I mean, what is the current top like highest end APU performance? I need to go back and look at it, but that would be like a mind-blowing leap, I guess, from the APUs we have existing right now that's readily available to 1 year from now having 4070 mobile levels of performance for graphics. I don't know if that's a stretch in my opinion, but I would gladly love to be like proved wrong. If it even comes in at 3060 levels of performance, I would be happy. Like, I think the 3060 this time around next year will still be a great budget card, right? So having a performance level around that, or like a RX 6600 in an APU, I will be happy with that. So they don't even need those stretch goals. Just give us 6600 XT level performance in an APU, and we're good. And it's priced reasonably, of course. Yeah. How do you jump from 1650 level APUs to 4070s? Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy, even if it is the mobile ones. So, I'm 120 into my case, AIO, PSU, and storage. Really? That's it? That's cheap. You have 350 for the GPU, then the 6800 might be your best bet. Yeah, let's see what you can find a 6800 for. Because you get your 16 gigabytes of VRAM and pretty dang good performance. You can buy RX 6800 right now, not broken, for like 330 easily. You can even get a Sapphire Pulse model right here. Plus tax, even if you live in a state like mine where it's 10% tax, this comes in under 360, which is about how much you have for the GPU. But you got 120 into your case, AIO, PSU, and storage? How did you fit all of that within 120? Did you buy used? 120 for all of that is like really cheap. It's right, you got an AIO too, not an tower cooler, and a PSU, assuming it's like a decent one, and like at least 1 terabyte storage. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for the price and, you know, meeting your requirements, like your price, you want the VRAM just for whatever you do that's also not gaming, perhaps, and like just performance. I think this, and you're okay with used parts. I don't know if we're gonna find anything better to offer you than this. You deal on hard. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I would say this is my recommendation, given the price you have to work with and you're okay with used parts. I'm not sure in the chat if anyone else has, yeah, this one's new from, I don't know this account though. I don't know if I trust this account, being brand new for 320. And this one's parts only. This one is looking a little, this one actually, wait, are these all sketch? No, this one seems legit. This one at least have 5 sales. It might be a hacked account, but I mean, this one has 168 sales. So yeah, I would not go for this one, is what I'm saying. Like, that's kind of sus. Let me take a look at the pictures. Do they even have a real picture of it? Or are they all 3D renders of like product? Yeah, this one doesn't even have a real picture of the card. So I would skip this one for sure. This one at least has a picture of it. It could be fake. You could reverse image search it. But you just go down the line with which one you feel comfortable. Maybe look in your local area too. Gates Apex, I don't know if you're still here, because you said this a little bit earlier, but does bottlenecking GPU and CPU affect your gameplay? Your gameplay? Do you guys count FPS as gameplay? Does bottlenecking modern hardware... Because I can understand if you have, like, old hardware or something that doesn't have sufficient VRAM and stuff. It will affect your gameplay when you have artifacting and, like, polygons showing up on the screen and stuff like that. But we're talking strictly, like, pretty modern hardware here. 4070 Ti, 1270K. Does it affect gameplay? And if you define FPS as gameplay, then yeah, something bottlenecking, limiting the performance you can get, will affect your FPS. In a meaningful way, I would say with this pairing that you have here, that's like fine. In most cases, sure, you could have the 1270K bottlenecking in some games or settings, and you can have the 4070 Ti bottlenecking in some games and settings, but I think your pairing is fine, so I wouldn't worry about it. Is the Corsair 4000D case good in 2024? Yeah, I would still use a 4000D. Actually, I wish the Corsair would make a 3000D case. That's a micro ATX version. Wait, is that what this person is recommending? Wait. Do they have a... Wait, they do have a 3000D mid-tower though. That's not what I wanted. I want a micro ATX. I want this in a micro ATX though. Not a mid-tower. We already have the mid-tower. It's called the 4000D. I want a 3000D that is instead a micro ATX because I feel like that is a very... Yeah, I know. I feel like that is a very popular... Actually, we gotta run a poll. I can't just say that. And then y'all gonna just say, what form factor case is your PC? Full tower. Oh man, I gotta add all these options. Give me a second. Mid tower, micro ATX, ITX. Okay. I wish I didn't have to do this for both chats, but... Like for me, I'm ITX right now, but I still like micro ATX more than ITX. Hey, what's up, Kuya Isaac? Long time no see. You just bought the Corsair 4000D? Yeah, I'd say it is a very relevant case still. I think it'll be a while until it's irrelevant. Until they come up with like new USB standards and headers on the motherboards and stuff like that, it will be very usable for a good number of years to come. Can wait on the 2000D. They have a 2000D. and it is not what I want. This is I am using the 2000D. I wanted the 3000D to be a micro. They did not need 2 mid towers taking up the naming schemes. They also, you guys are, see, this is the thing. And I also have one of these. So now you're saying they need a 25, they have a 2500D. I'm saying the 3000D needed to be micro ATX. Because they're 2500D, I have this case as well. This is my test bench system. It is, I feel like they messed up on this one too. This one, they needed in a micro ATX form factor. This thing is huge. The number goes down, but the size, this thing is, to me, because it fits, it's a mid tower. If you look at the naming, it fits full size ATX. No micro ATX love given, essentially. This case, I like it, but then I don't like a lot of things about it as well. Like, I was gonna make a video on it, but I just never got around to it. I use it for my test bench because there's so much room to work in it and stuff like that. The dual chamber gives you like so much ease of cable management and all of that and room. But yeah, we need actual small PC cases, please. Weird form factor. Why so wide? Exactly. That's one of the reasons. It did not need to be this wide. They could have made it less wide and still fit the power supply and graphics cards in it. They just gave a little bit too much extra room. And yeah, because they made micro ATX version, the Corsair Air, was it 240? They made this style of a case like a decade ago that was actually compact and small. Like this case, the 240 and the 280X that they refreshed it with. Like, this case was actually small, and it's still, you know, it's very similar design principles in that it's a dual chamber, except micro ATX, and this is, like, the inspiration, I'm sure, of the 2500D. I see that case and think, oh, it's a micro ATX, but nope, it looks very blocky. I'm okay with it being blocky. Like, I don't need it to have these little wedge corners like the 240. I like cubes and blocks and stuff, but just the size of this thing. Do I have it? Can I, like... Do I have it unhooked is the question. Oh, where's that thing? It is way over there. Yeah, I'm not gonna go grab it, but it is big. Fractal Pop Air Mini, yes. Wait, love it for the CD bays. Yeah, I don't think I've heard many negative things said about this case. If I can show it. 2 neatly hidden compartments are concealed, yeah, 5 1/4 bays with the magnetic cover. But yeah, like, if Corsair had an equivalent to this, I'd be all over it. I mean, I think people might look at this case as, like, boring, but I'm okay with boring. Like, I'm okay with functionality, good price, you know. This is, like, pretty standard, right? You've got the tempered glass, what's it called? Yeah, a tempered glass, power supply shroud, front airflow case. That's a box. Don't fix what's not broken. But will it fit a 5090? Well, see, I think a lot of people won't ever have to worry about things being able to fit a 5090. So I think most people will be okay with it. I don't know what the biggest card this can fit in it though. Most micro ATX cases can fit decently large graphics cards. It's only when you get into like the crazy extra long ones that you have to worry about. But a lot of these can fit, I would say, like 90 to 95% of the graphics cards out there without a problem. Oh, I'm starving. I gotta eat some more chocolate to hold it off. What CPU would you do with a 4070 Ti? There's a wide range of CPUs you can use. How much you have to spend? I would be comfortable. Yeah, for what you're gonna use a 4070 Ti for, I would be comfortable going down to a 7500F. Assuming you're playing at 1440p and turning up the settings quite a bit, so you get a good balance on the graphics card. That would probably be as low as I would go on AMD's side of things. I think a 5800 X3D would be fine with it too, if you, or I guess 5700 X3D if you're going AM4 instead. On Intel side of things, like any of the most recent generations of 12700K, even though people hate the 13 and 14700s, I think they would be fine with it. You're going AM5? Yeah, I mean, how much money do you have to spend? You could either spend as low as 120 for a 7500F or up to 470 bucks for a 9800 X3D. That's a big range, and I think if I saw someone pair 4070 Ti with the 9800 X3D, I mean, it can handle much more powerful cards, but I wouldn't be like, oh, it's a horrible pairing. But then I would also, if someone paired a 7500F with it, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, you're going to be pushing that Ryzen 5 pretty hard, but there are games that will easily eat up the 4070 Ti without a problem. So, no problems there. They're fine. You've checked all the fixes. Even if they're fine, I think the reputation is going to make people just not want to buy them. Unless they get a nice discount, like Jason was saying. Okay, what was someone saying about the... Sorry. Robert Fix said, check out that X9. Oh, let me look at the poll real quick. So, what form factor case do people have? Full towers? No, mid towers. Okay, that makes sense. Is the most, followed by full towers, and then micro ATX is not that much representation within the people in the chat. Now, if we look at the shorts chat, same thing. It's almost like the same-ish, like ballpark of numbers. About half of the people have mid towers, and then the majority of the rest of them have full towers, and then you get your micro and then ITXs. Okay, so mid tower is still king, but given how many, I feel like case manufacturers have a disproportionate amount of ITX cases versus micro ATX cases, given how many more people probably are on micro ATX than ITX. Okay, you said X9? You're talking about the Thermaltake Snow X9 or something else? You got for the X9 Snow, this one, right? The funny thing is, why does the picture make this not look... Like, when I see this render, or is this a real picture or a rendering, whatever it is, this doesn't look that big to me. I don't know why. Because at the time, these Strix cards, if this was like a 960 or 970, are pretty tiny. This doesn't look that gigantic. But, man, look at that front panel. You get that digital display, that, what is that, like fan temperature sensors, or fan controls and stuff like that? I can't see. Let me see if they have a better it's stackable though. You can stack them. Remarkable expression, excellent ventilation, chambers concept, fully modular design. All these little tiny like brackets and panels can come off. Interchangeable panel window and I/O panel. Oh, so what's that display do? I want to know more about this display. Trust me, it's gigantic. EATX lol. Vivek says, my Corsair 4000D airflow arrived bent from the back leg. So I just used the hammer to fix it instead of applying for a replacement. We have to install 5090 on our roof lol. What? You talk about on top of the PC cases when those come out? Four fans looks too big for me. I mean, how big is it compared to the half XB? Let's look at the... No. There we go. Look, this thing I am very familiar with, but I want to know what the size comparison is. So let's look at these dimensions. Does the Cooler Master website actually have them so I can just see them easily? Tech specs. Discover. Okay, here we go. Dimensions. Here we go. And then where's the dimensions of this thing? So we're looking at dimensions. What the heck? Oh, here it is. So let's say 20, 15, 25. 20, 15. Oh, okay. 20, 15, 25. Oh, yeah. Okay, that thing is really big. 20 is 3 inches more than this, 15 is 2 inches more than this, and 25 is 9 inches more than this dimension. Okay. And this is also, I think, considered an EATX. Was this one EATX? I forget, but okay. Yeah, this thing is big. I believe. Alright, let's see what else we got. We did not get any more stream submissions, I believe. Oh! So, BT Norris is the one that asked for a Best Buy gaming PC for $950. Are you still here? Because I'm actually very curious. Best Buy, honestly, like, Best Buy has had some decent deals in past years. Like, let's just look at this. 4060 i5 14400F for $800. Like, obviously, actually, at this price, it's, you know, it's questionable power supply. You probably have to look for a review video to see what the power supply is that they're using in these. And then, like, the motherboard, they usually use, actually not usually, but sometimes they do use like less off the shelf motherboards. But for $800 brand new from a store that you can just buy and then I guess return if there's any problems and get warranty and all that kind of stuff already built for you with Windows installed, ready to go, this is not bad value. People hate the 4060, whatever. People hate 14th gen Intel. For $800 on the internet, you're not gonna get much better in the pre-built, but I still want to look at up to 950. Let's go do 1,000. Sometimes you, at this budget, stretching another $50 might be worth it. Yeah, so we'll do actually 750 to 1,000. That should be fair. And we'll go low to high and see if we can find anything that really pops out that is worth it. What's up, Chris Cast? Hey, Danny. Is gaming dead? What do you think? No, gaming is not dead. Are you kidding me? It is probably one of the biggest growing industries Oh, okay, no, I take that back. As an industry, no, I think it's still growing at a crazy rate. Doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Why would you say it's dead? I don't have the numbers to back it, but I'm just sure that with how popular not only consoles, but just anything related to gaming is, whether it be PC hardware, VR, handheld consoles, PCs, fully built PCs versus individual parts, the numbers that come out when a new game comes out and you get like, oh, record numbers for millions of players, how many downloads a day, gaming is not dead. I don't think so. But I'm curious to hear where you might have thought that. Legion was well reviewed, plus you can get a percentage off if you open their credit account. I mean, for a PC build, that might be a big enough of a purchase to get the discount, but you know how when you go to Target and you buy some shampoo and stuff, like, would you like to open up a credit card to save 5% today? Like, bro, no. If I'm doing that, it's because I'm buying like a $2,000 TV or something. But let's take a look. 5700G, integrated graphics, no graphics card for $770. No way. This one right here, Thermaltake Vista with the Ryzen 5600 and the RX 6600 for $770, 1TB SSD. Honestly, I don't think this is bad either. It's not amazing, but you're not going to find many pre-builts out there with these specs. Unless you're going to like Jawa. But then again, that's different. That's like almost like your secondhand market almost. But let's see. So yeah, these two towers look to be decent value, but you said under 950, so we do have room to go up more. Like no, like do not get something with a 3050 for $800. Like any of these, no. RX 6400, no. That's such a strange like jump. Let's see, 8700F with the 7600. No, I'm not really feeling that one either. $870, and this thing has our RX 6400 in it. What? Like, Ryzen 5 5500 with the 4060. Some of these more expensive ones are worse than the cheaper ones, but we still have room to go. We have up to $1,000. 4060, 1050 Ti. Bro, is this like a third-party seller on Best Buy? A Ryzen 3 4100 GTX 1050 Ti for $880. You can't make this up. Allied Gaming. Who's buying this, leaving 32 reviews? What? Okay, I need to look at these review days. Are these like from or how many years ago? Yeah, because they're using like an older GPU. I don't remember when the Ryzen 3 4100 came out, but all right, where's the reviews? Reviews. Delay and wrong CPU. Perfect. Attention. What is this? A bot review? 10 months ago, 7 months ago, within the last year, 1 year ago. See all customer reviews. Wow. Wrong CPU. A starter. 3 months ago, someone bought it 3 months ago and owned it for 4 months. People, no, this one, okay, are they like combining multiple listings? You know how Amazon does that? When they combine different configurations into one review section. Like, is there any other configurations? Doesn't look like it. Huh. Well, wow. Anyways, we're looking for good PCs, not bad ones. 7700. Ooh, that's not a combo I would like to see. Can we get a better graphics card than a 7600 and a 4060? That would be the goal here. They sell anyways. When it's a kid asking mom to buy it for Christmas, they can't tell the difference at the store. And yeah, you would hope Geek Squad employees would at least help them out. But this is it? Oh no, there's another page. Thinking this. Okay. Allied Gaming doesn't look like our Allied to me. Alright, so now look at this clearance. Oh my goodness. A Ryzen i7 13700F RTX 4070 system. You are not going to get better than this. I'm calling it right now. Under $1,000. I would buy this clearance right now, but it's sold out. Dang it. Of course it's sold out. Of course. Everybody got excited for it. Yeah, that would be crazy. Maybe you can get an open box deal. Let's see. 3050. Imagine buying a 3050 system for $900 in 2024. The end of 2024. Almost 2025. This is not good, Patrick. This is not good. Let's see. I didn't even click on it. Why are you going here? Vetted is also on here, which is nice. Okay. Go to page 2. Yeah, why is it clicking? Phantom clicking for me. So it's a 3060. I mean, at this point, you could scroll through fast just looking at graphics card. If the graphics card isn't good, it's a deal breaker. 4060, 4060, 4060s. We're still at 4060s. Come on. Someone throw us a bone. 4060 Ti for $1,000. And a 14700F. Not sure if I would pair an i7 with the 4060 Ti, but it's a more powerful graphics card. Can we get something that's more balanced? 4060 still. Last page. I mean, honestly, at this point, you're better going with like a smaller system integrator or going to like Jawa and seeing if you can find someone who would build a better paired system. And they're only giving a single 16 gigabytes of DDR5, or they're only giving 16 gigs. It better not be single channel. Yeah. Well, a lot of these are DDR4 as well, but 4060s. We max out a 4060 Ti. Huh? I mean, yeah. So between those, I am probably recommending the two $800 builds, or this one for $770. All things considered, specs wise, doesn't seem like bad value. As you approach $1,000 and all you can get is a 4060, that is a little bit alarming, but do I think it's worth upgrading? No. 7800 X3D to 9800 X3D? No. Do you have a 4090? Even if you did? No. But if you don't have one, extra no. Do you know how many hours until the 9800 X3D is available for purchase? No, this hasn't been asked before. So Newegg said 6 a.m. So that's 11 hours from now. I don't know if it's... Let me see. Actually, was that Eastern time? Let's look at Newegg. I don't know if every place is going to be available at the same time, but 6 a.m. PST. Okay, so it is 11 hours from now. It will be available on Newegg. I don't know about all the other stores. AMD will have a queue. SIPCs with 4070 original are pretty overstocked. Yeah, we can take a look at. All right, what's your guys' favorite system integrator that's like pretty big? We're not talking about like small, you know, like Starforge and etc. We're talking about like iBuyPower, CyberPower, Skytech. Would I consider? I would consider at this point Build Redux. They're bigger. Like, which one of those is your favorite system integrators? And we're gonna take a look. I think Skytech has a lot to choose from, like almost too much to choose from, but their website sucks. iBuyPower would probably be the best bet at the moment. Alienware's products always they look good, but Alienware's is usually not priced the best. So as much as iBuyPower and CyberPower PC, as much hate as they get, sometimes they have some really good specs for the price, and that's going to be at the cost of them maybe using a questionable power supply, but you got a warranty, and sometimes they actually don't use the crappiest power supplies in the world. So iBuyPower, best customer service. Skytech, okay, so we're hearing a lot of iBuyPowers from multiple people. So let's see what we can get for iBuyPower. Okay. Also, okay, you're still there, BT Norris. Hopefully you caught everything. So these two systems is what I would say if you aren't trying to just spend all your money and you might want to save some money for future upgrades. But let's take a look if we can find something here, because I feel like if you want to shop at Best Buy, maybe you're in the US, hopefully, and I feel like buying from iBuyPower would be similar to buying from Best Buy, except there's no brick and mortar. But with regards to customer service, return policy, stuff like that, it seems like it would be pretty close to the same. Low to high. Okay, what do they got? Okay, let me make sure I'm looking at every gaming PC. All gaming PCs. Hopefully they actually show me all gaming PCs. Pre-built ready gaming PCs. Okay, we're gonna sort from low to high. What? Wait, what? The lowest cost starts at 1,000? And oh my god. Okay, well, wait up. Am I missing something? Where's the sub $1,000 PCs? These are ready okay. There's something wrong here. Okay, I just want to say, who is buying a $1,000 system with only an Intel Arc A380 in it, or an $1,100 system with the RTX 3050 in it? We're down the wrong hallway here. Let me see. Custom gaming PCs. Are there more options here? Okay, here's the A380. Wait. Seriously? Let's look at today's deals, maybe. $900 for a 3050. Okay, maybe iBuyPower was not the place to go. Yeah, but 3070 Ti refurbished. If we're gonna look at refurbished, I don't know if they're okay with it. But let's see. Lowest price refurbished. So a 6600. See, even this one, like, you can get it for new, better over at Best Buy. You got a 5600 and RX 6600. And, was it 1 terabyte? And a 1 terabyte NVMe drive for less than this. Wow. But okay, you're saying 3060 Ti for 900, 3080 for 2000. Oh my god, 3080, 11th gen i9 RTX 3080 system for 2,000 bucks, refurbished too. Okay, but where's that 3070 Ti you're talking about? Not 1,000. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I was kind of thinking iBuyPower would have decent deals. Let's look at NZXT open box. PC deals. NZXT had some banger refurbished deals before. Arc A770 for and a 12400 for 800. This is very limited, so yeah, they only have like 4 things here. Okay. Yeah, we gotta go to SkyTech. Yeah, let's say. Okay, I think I complained about this last stream. When you go to pre-built gaming PC, you click it, and you go. Do you have to go all the way down? Okay, so we see all these down here. I'm gonna sort by low to high. The lowest price is a 3050 build with for 800 bucks. 7600 Ryzen 5700 for 880. 4060. Let's see, 7600 XT for 950. For under 1,000, the best you can get here is a 7600 XT, huh? With the Ryzen 5700. Versus, again, a 5600 versus a 5700, and then a 6600 versus a 7600 XT for how much more? $950 versus, it's almost $200 more. It's like $180 more. 180 more. And what's the RAM on this? At 1100 you can get a 4070 on Skytech. Ooh. See, they already asked for a 950. Let's take a look. What are we looking at here for? 16 gigs. Okay, what's the storage? What are we looking at for storage here? Oh, and then they're just showing complete something else down here. This is why I don't like Skytech. The way that their website is laid out and how they section off their builds. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm trying to go back, except it's not going back. Did we break Skytech's website? Or did my internet just die? What's going on here? Their website is slow as heck for me, lol. Okay, so something's going on with Skytech's website. And, okay, they do have a $50 off code, so that's good. Can I look at all the gaming PCs? Not just the most popular ones? Where did that go? All models, sorry. Okay, you said $1,100. Oh my god. Are they gonna show me all the builds? Shop pre-builds. Come on. Chop chop. Hello? Is this website just broken right now? Skytech, I'm trying to basically give you a free promotion if you have a pretty decent system here. Yeah. Okay, apparently that is not going to work because they're only showing me this stuff. Oh, it went through, I think. No, it didn't. It just reloaded the page. How hard is it? It's this first one? Oh yeah, you're right. We can see it from the front page. That's not... Someone said 1100. This is 1200. I guess you can use a $50 off coupon unless they're running another sale. Let me click on it. Yeah, because this $1,100 system has a 4060. This one has a 7600. Check Meta PCs. Meta PCs has been pretty expensive from when I've seen in the past. I'll check them out, but... Yeah, Meta PCs were one of the more pricey ones, but maybe that's changed. Let me see. Okay, yeah, this one's 1200, not 1100, which is even more away from the target budget they were looking for at $950. But yeah, you do get a very big boost in the graphics performance. It's still DDR4, 3200. Somehow they just don't list the SSD size. Let me see. Really, they just don't list the SSD size. Am I missing something here? Oh, 1 terabyte. I'm blind. Yep, they do list it. Sorry. Okay, so $1,200. You said Meta PCs. Yeah, I know Meta PCs. I've seen their ads. I think both on YouTube and Twitter. Ready to ship PCs is what you would be looking for. Okay. So we've got a $1,000 option. And then we've got a $1,200 option. And those are their two cheapest, right? So let's take a look at these. Their website at least loads faster than Skytech. So for $1,000, which is already on sale because it's normally $1,200, i5 12400 and an RTX 4060. 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte. Okay, so pretty standard with their other one, except I don't know. How do you guys feel about a 12400F 4060 build for $1,000? I think if you PC part picker that out, you're looking at like a $350 to $300 build fee, which is a little bit on the high end. Meta PCs is definitely smaller than CyberPower and them and iBuyPower, but they use a Meta Gold power supply. I wonder what that means. All these prices are before tax. Yeah, if you live somewhere where you have to pay tax, then you're paying tax on it. This one is $1,200, and it has a... What? $1,200. What else did they? You guys seeing this? So from $1,000, and what's the? This is normally $1,300, but it's only on sale $100. But still, so you're paying $200 more between these two, and all you're getting is a bump up from a 4060 to a 4060 Ti. You have the same amount of RAM. Oh, it's DDR. Nope, same amount of RAM, same speeds. DDR5 on the B760M motherboard. Same SSD capacity. This is the 8GB 4060 Ti. How do you bump up $200? I understand it's only $100 off, and this one is technically on a better sale of $200 off. But 4060s and 4060 Ti's is not what I imagine at the $1,000 and $1,200 price points. This is what I was saying. Like, for the most part, when I checked them out, they are on the pricier side. So yeah, Best Buy, these two builds, not too bad of value. If you go to Jawa though, which is gonna actually, they're not sponsoring this stream. They are sponsoring an upcoming video, but on Jawa, especially if you're okay with using used parts, some people who can deal hunt and find used parts and piece together really good systems, they sell them here, and you can buy it from them. It's not the same as buying new, but yeah, you're at least supporting like an enthusiast who's, you know, very into PC building. And this is like, I would say the community here is pretty awesome for this. Look at this, 4060 Ti. I don't know what the CPU is. System for $900. Let's see what we can find for under $1,000. What the best graphics card on Jawa is. So 3070, which is gonna be better than a 4060. For the, like 925. Come on, can we get a 4070 PC on here for under $1,000? Look how many PCs there are to choose from, even within the $900 category. Okay, where are they at? Where is the 3060, 3070, 6750 XT? Come on, I know there's some crazy value builders out here. Someone's gonna slip in a 4070. For $1,000. When do we can I sort by the graphics card? GPU chipset, NVIDIA. I can't do it specifically, but we're gonna keep searching. Hopefully I didn't skip it. 4060 Ti, 7600 XT, Super Gaming Beast, 5900X. We still have some room in the $1,000. 2080, 2060. I'm just gonna put 4070 and see what pops up as the lowest price. Yeah, so they have 4060 Ti systems for sub $1,000, which we did not find. Yeah, like this one's $900. They have one each version for $800 or $900. These are definitely better value. But where's that 4070 at? Here it is. 1160 is the lowest price one you can get with the 13900K, with 32 gigs of RAM, and so this is going to be competing with essentially the Skytech system, which has a 12400F in it, 4070, 16 gigs of RAM. This one has 32 gigs of RAM, i9, higher, newer generation. Let's see what else, what differences. What's the SSD on this one? Better be at least a terabyte, 1.5 terabyte. SSD. Oh yeah, 512 Samsung 970 and a 1 terabyte 990 Pro. Yeah, so I think the clear value would be this one, but okay. We've looked at enough pre-builds. I am 20 minutes over the stream time that I have allotted myself. So we're going to spend the last 5 minutes just chilling in chat, and I'm gonna read comments and get caught up. Joseph Huckins says, "Hey, where are you from? During a budget? I am in Washington State. I'm like in the Seattle-ish area. Find cheapest PC for playing Monster Hunter Wild. I did not play the beta of it, but I wish I did. I didn't have time. It was only like a 3-day beta, wasn't it? It was this past weekend. Was it Thursday or Friday till Sunday? Or maybe it was 4 days. But I think I'm gonna play Monster Hunter Wild like as one of the games that I play. But the only thing I've heard about it is that it's still pretty buggy, not optimized. It kills lower, it even kills high-end systems. So that would be a fun video to do. When does that come out? February, I think. So building a budget gaming PC to play Monster Hunter Wild, that would be a fun build to do. Like try to do it for like $400. You're probably gonna have to use some like upscaling and frame generation and stuff if you do, but that would still be interesting to do nonetheless. Monster Hunter Wild definitely needs a BP CPU, especially. Yeah, that would be, or it'd be interesting to take any, if I still have any of the systems I haven't moved them yet, of like the $200 or $300 builds, which I still have both of those on hand, to play those against Monster Hunter. So, did I ever mess with SLI or Crossfire back in the day? No, I never did, because back in the day, for a long time, I was very either broke or money conscious. So the performance gains from doing that, especially at the time, right? You would have to have had a power supply that supported it. You have to have enough connectors. You would have to have a motherboard that also has the 2 full slots that can fit them side by side. And the performance gains, I didn't feel were worth it versus just buying a more powerful card for the same amount of money you spent. Instead of buying like 2 mid-tier or even 2 high-end cards, buy like the highest end card instead. And you don't have to deal with troubleshooting all that stuff, and you don't have to deal with just like multiple parts and like having to get a beefier power supply and all that. And then I think over time it kind of just phased out and became less popular, right? So now I guess I can still mess around with it now, but I don't really have too much of an interest in it. I guess, like, what would you say to someone who has never messed with SLI or Crossfire or is never shown interest in it? What would be, aside from just playing around with it, which I only have so much time on my hands to dick around with it, right? What would be your biggest elevator pitch talking points to try to convince someone to try to do it? SLI was just a way to flex having money. I wouldn't, yeah, I could see that for sure. Bro, I'm on 5800 XUD and nothing is stressing that out, lol. Good. Use it for as long as you can. Get your full value out of it. Looks cool with 2 GPUs, but it's pointless. Monster Hunter optimization is pretty bad. Nope, your system is bad. Monster Hunter Wilds is CPU heavy just like Dragon's Dogma 2. I can't speak onto whether or not it's the game, the system, or a combination of both. But I guess I have, like, have you guys seen mid-range systems? Like, we're talking like a Ryzen, I would still consider a 5600 pretty mid-range. It's not mid-range new gen like 7600, but like a 5600 3070 PC. I would say that's a pretty good PC still in this day and age. Like, how does Monster Hunter Wilds run on that? If it has trouble at 1080p, medium, or like, let's say high settings, to be fair, at 1080p, high settings at 60 FPS, then I don't know. That might be partially the game. I would say Monster Hunter Wilds is not like a competitive FPS or anything like that. I know it is pretty, it could be more sensitive in terms of like timing open windows for attacks and parrying or like rolling and dodging and stuff like that, but not to the degree that you need super high refresh rate and frame rate, you know, playing on it compared to, like, let's say CSGO or Valorant. I think Monster Hunter Wilds could be enjoyed at 60 FPS decently fine. most people enjoyed a lot of Monster Hunter games on console for the longest time before they even made it to PC at 60 FPS, just fine. So game is not out yet, so both are probably true. Yeah, I think didn't they release a statement about saying that they're gonna work on improving it, right? Capcom did. I think I remember seeing that. I see Monster Hunter Wild clips of people battling pixel monsters. Yeah. You have a 5700X and a 7800 XT. I don't need an upgrade for now. Yeah, I would think that you would be set with that. I'd recommend, so back to the SLI conversation, I'd recommend never doing it. The support for games was horrible. You'd have to use NVIDIA Inspector just to ever get it, certain games to work. Yeah. I think it was like a combination of not either being money conscious, being able just to not afford it, or being lazy. And those are 3 very good reasons to not do something. Is the next LAN party's dead? When is the next video? Is the LAN party dead? No, what are you talking about? Didn't I come up with the video? How long ago was that video? The videos are like every 6 months. So, yeah, next video is in December. It's about on track for when they should be. I don't think we have like a excessively large gap for the LAN party release dates. So, y'all be getting good at them LAN parties? We do. We try to eat better than we used to. Have y'all gone back and watched the original LAN parties where all we ate were frozen foods and dino nuggets and tater tots and stuff like that? We have stepped up the game over the years without spending too much more money, I might add. When you add more people to the mix, the budget goes up, and, you know, buying food in bulk and just cooking for larger amounts of people, the scaling works out way better than cooking for a small group. So yeah. Should I upgrade my GPU? I'm currently on a 3090 and a 7800 X3D. Nah, you're good. You're good. 3090, 7800 X3D, you are fine. Unless you are just so... You like have more money than you know what to do with. I feel like with the 3090s, unless you just like have no bills to pay, no responsibilities in life, like the money could be put towards other things instead of upgrading your 3090. I wasn't around for it then, but SLI seemed to have a point. You could buy one GPU, then budget permitting, you could add another one. Yeah, but it's not about the flexibility of being able to add another one. Because did you size the power supplies right? Does your case and motherboard support it? And then the game support was the biggest thing, right? Either games just not working at all or just scaling horribly. That seems like too big of a risk to even want to do, unless again you're just rich, or you're like, you know, super PC enthusiast that your biggest hobby is PCs and you just don't mind spending money for that stuff. Yeah, I agree, Tarnish. People need to stop with the do I need to upgrade literally like the most powerful graphics card just from last gen questions, because you shouldn't need me to tell you that a 3090 is still a very viable card. Hopefully, if you have that system, you've done enough research where you know that the reason you have a 3090 was so that it would last you for years to come. Not just because you're irresponsible with money and you wanted the biggest, shiniest thing only until the next biggest, shiniest thing came out. You know? Edward Williams. I got a brand new Alienware R3 for a deal with 2 GTS 450s in SLI. It worked, but I quickly swapped for a GTX 680 for the win, 4GB. Man, those numbers, GTS graphics cards. That is a very special generation for me, because that was when I finally had enough money to build my own desktop PC. And I got the GTX 280. I think it was the 1GB RAM version. I need to look again. I forget. But yeah, but I remember back then it was like you had the GTX 260s and then the GTS 250s, and I think it was the 250s, right? So yeah, that's very memorable for me. And that is, we're talking 13, no, how many years ago was that? That was like 2009, 2010 time frame. Yeah, like 14 years ago. One of the best UPs I had, yeah, the GTX 280, I mean, it was a beast at the time, and it carried me for, I think, 3 or 4 years before I upgraded. I forget. See, man, you got into PC gaming quite early. Your first real GPU was a 770. I mean, so I have multiple first graphics cards, depending on how you classify it, right? So like PC gaming wise, first graphics card that I can remember was like MX400 series card from NVIDIA back in like 2003 or 4. But that doesn't count because that was just like the family computer that we got from Costco for me and my brother to do homework with, but of course we played games on it. That was like the first graphics card that our family had. Then I went to college in 2007 and I bought a laptop that was a gaming capable Dell Inspiron with a GTX, it's a 9600 GT, but that's a mobile graphics card, so that doesn't count. So that's why I specified my first desktop gaming graphics card that I could afford, which is the third categorization, is the GTX 280. So depending how you look at it, I've had multiple first graphics cards. Either my family's ones, the first one I could afford, or the first one that I could afford that was a desktop one. But yeah, you got in around the GTX 770, that was like what, 2000, was that 13 or 14? That was 2013, okay, yeah. Which is still, I mean, over a decade ago. My dad built my first PC for me in 2014. 4770K and a GTX 770 in 2014. Those are really, yeah, very solid specs. Holy crap! I was running that exact build till 2023, so I used it for 9 years. At the time, it was really good, but by 2023, the 770 and the 4770K, it was very old. But man, that sounds like an awesome dad, to be honest. All right, we are 30 minutes past my cutoff time, so I want to say thank you, as always, you guys, for making this a very fun and eventful stream. Yeah, as always, we'll be back next week at the same time, 5 p.m. PST, unless I put out an announcement for whatever reason. I usually don't have to cancel a stream, so we're good on that. There is a new video coming this weekend. It's a pretty cool one. It was actually related to one of the people that donated parts to me like a month ago. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun video, I think, just because of the whole meetup. It's like a Craigslist ride along style video, so be on the lookout for that, probably on Saturday. But other than that, yeah, you guys have a great rest of your week, and have a great weekend coming up, and I will see you all either on the comments of whatever drops next or in the Discord channel, which we do have linked down below. I'm in there usually, so it's a pretty quiet Discord server, so usually when you say stuff gets seen and people respond. It's not crazy fast and stuff, so yeah. Y'all take it easy. See you next time. Bye-bye.